I mean, you hinted at it at the start, so let's maybe zoom out now a little bit and think about how the steel industry is changing more broadly. There's a big shift in how steel is made, I understand. Can you tell us a little bit about that and the impact that this has on skills?
Yeah, well, as probably everybody knows, the steel industry in general is an old industry. Our company in the Netherlands erected more than 100 years ago, and in Britain it's even longer than that. So in that respect, you could say that we're quite a traditional company, especially if you compare it to a startup tech company. But at the same time, we're also very innovative because we need to make our steel better, stronger, lighter, more reliable. So we have a lot of innovations to create new types of steel. And of course, also these innovations have an impact on skills. But you also see that the areas in which we work, for instance, maintenance, is also changing because of technology. So we go from traditional maintenance to smart maintenance, and hopefully in the future to predictive maintenance. This is changing the field completely because maintenance becomes much more about censoring, about analyzing data. So your whole job as a maintenance engineer, for instance, changes.
Yeah.
And then the third thing, or the thing that is really, really changing in our industry is, of course, that we have sustainability challenges, and we want to make our production process carbon neutral by 2030, which means that the whole process of making steel will change rigorously. So it will be a huge transition, and that also has an impact on the skills that people need. It will be much more about digital, much more about analytics. Yeah.
That must be a huge challenge, and obviously, as part of the academy, I guess it must be something you're looking at. I guess there's partly developing some of the talent that you've got, but it's also influencing, I guess, how the maintenance engineers of the future are educated, even and learn some of these skills, and make sure that they're ready for work. That you don't have to spend then 3 years adding skills that they don't learn in education establishments and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But the most complicated thing is that we don't know yet what skills it will be in a couple of years. So if we already knew, then we could have a program ready and train them, but we don't know yet. So that's even more complicated to sort of find out what it is, what they don't know now, but what they need to know in the future, or what they cannot do right now, and what they in skills terms, what they need. Yeah, absolutely. So that is a big challenge. But at the same time, we do know what kind of technologies we want to use in the future to get the production process more sustainable. And one of the things that we try to do is to at least investigate what the gaps could be. So we create field labs, as we call them. We have now one on smart maintenance, so that's an example for now, but we will do that. We will build them also around other technologies that we will have on our site in the future, because some factories will disappear and we will create other factories with new technologies. And in these field labs, the idea is to actually sort of experiment with the technology, but really then use that to see what the gap is. Because I think that there's also a lot of skills and knowledge that they already have that they don't need to learn. So we also need to find out what the gap is exactly and how we can close it then. And yeah, it will be very interesting. Yeah. But at the same time, we have this tradition of educating people in the factories, because there are always new installations, there are always new innovative things going on. And because we're quite big, it's also possible for us to organize it.
Yeah, huge challenge. And
absolutely.
Some of are there any other ways that you're looking at to find these skills? And For example, are you thinking of a kind of build versus buy approach?
I think it will be a mix. One of the things that we're, of course, we are quite unique in what we use. It's not that there are 10 other steel companies in the Netherlands and that there is a steel education. A lot of the things that we do, we only do at our company. And not even other steel companies are doing it because they have their own approaches to make steel. So a lot of the stuff that we do is built because we are the only ones that can do it. But one of the things that we are trying to do is to find a lot of partners that are also working with that technology for another approach, and of course steelmaking, to see if there are also things that we can develop together, because sometimes the basics of technology are exactly the same. It doesn't matter if it's about steel or about another field of work, but I think a lot of things will be built by our own.
In this series, we will be speaking to a range of senior leaders who are pushing a data-driven and digital HR agenda. Make sure that you subscribe via your podcast app of choice and also via our YouTube channel for free and regular interviews with the digital HR leaders of the future.